Hello dear traders, my name is Daria Bobrova and you are watching a daily trading plan for February 27th. Let's start with the economic events for today. As you can see, the economic calendar is quite full, but we will pay attention to the most important events that may shake markets today. So at 15:30 MetaTrader time, we wait for the release of the Canadian CPI level. The forecast is optimistic, so if the actual data outperforms the forecast, the Canadian dollar will be supported additionally. In case of the lower reading, the Canadian dollar may suffer. Also for today, we anticipate the second part of Powell's Testiffies. The Federal Reserve Chairman will give his speech at 17 MetaTrader time. So the first part was presented yesterday, but comments appear to be mixed. So Mr. Powell said that the economic conditions in the US are quite positive, but there are global risks, and as a result, the Federal Reserve will keep its cautious monetary policy path. As a result, the US dollar index plunged yesterday, and up to now it has been keeping suffering. So if Mr. Powell sounds at least a little bit hawkish, the US dollar index will be able to recover. In case of the cautious tone of the chairman, the USD will keep struggling. And also for today, we expect the data about oil, crude oil inventories. Figures will be out at 17:30 MetaTrader time. So you see that the forecast is positive for the oil market, but we should pay attention to the actual data. I would like to remind you that on Monday, the oil market suffered significantly based on the Mr. Trump's tweet. So Mr. Trump said that oil prices are too high and the OPEC members should do something with that. As a result, both oil benchmarks, WTI and Brent, they fell. So for today, if we have them lower figure than the forecast, both benchmarks will be able to rise. In case of the more negative reading for the oil market, then benchmarks will suffer. Let's take a look at the technical side, and we will start with the US dollar Canadian dollar pair. So you see that up to now the pair has been suffering based on the weak USD and positive forecast for the Canadian data. However, bears can't pull the pair below 200-day moving average, and this support is really strong for the pair. So if Mr. Powell sounds really cautious and the economic data for the Canadian dollar is positive, the pair will be able to break below this level, and the next support will lie at 131.20. In case of the breakthrough, we can anticipate a fall towards 130.83. Moreover, we see that the parabolic SAR keeps forming those above prices, so it's an additional signal of the fall. However, you know that during the day the market may change its direction, and if the economic data for Canada is not that shiny and Mr. Powell sounds optimistic, giving additional boost for the USD, the pair will be able to turn around, and we can anticipate the first resistance at 131.82. So if bulls manage to break this level, we can anticipate a further moving up towards 132.32. It's the second pivot resistance for this week. Moreover, we see that the trend line lies near 132.32, so this weekly level is quite strong. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we see that the pair has been trading sideways, but now bears managed to pull the pair below the support at 131.60. So the next support lies at 131.52, and you see that the pair has been testing this level. So if bulls manage to push the pair below this level and the candlestick is closed below 131.52, it will provoke a further decline towards 131.20. It's the next strong support for the Canadian dollar US dollar pair. In case of the recovery, so the pair will appear above 131.60 and the support, the resistance will lie at 131.82. It's the pivot level. So in case of the breakthrough on the 4-hour chart, the next resistance will lie at 132 and then the weekly pivot level at 132.32. We see that the parabolic SAR keeps forming dots below price, so it means that the pair has chances to recover, and I recommend you to follow the stochastic indicator. You see that now it's below 20 level, so as soon as the blue line crosses the red line bottom up, it will be a signal to open a long position on the 4-hour chart. What about the oil market? So you see that Brent managed to recover after the significant fall on Monday, but up to now the trading is not that extensive. Traders are waiting for the crude oil inventories data, so if this data is positive for the oil market, Brent will be able to break above the resistance at 65.76 and it will move towards 66.73. However, if Mr. Trump tweets something else negative for the oil market and the crude oil inventories data are not that good, so the oil benchmark will suffer and we can anticipate a decline towards 64.60. So what about WTI? WTI also managed to recover and it has rebounded from the pivot level at 55.84. So same factors will affect the WTI benchmark. So if the level of crude oil inventories is lower than the forecast, so WTI will rise and the resistance will lie at 56.40. Then we have the pivot level at 56.82. In case of the negative factors for the oil market, WTI will fall below the pivot level at 55.48 and the next support will lie at 55.5. What about the GBP USD pair? So for today we don't have important economic data for the British pound. However, it's important to look at the chart of the GBP USD because the pair managed to reach levels of September 2018. That is positive for the British currency amid all these Brexit uncertainties. So for today you should pay attention to the news regarding the Brexit deal, and you see that the pair can't break above 132.90. It's important high, so if during the day there are positive comments on the Brexit deal, bulls will be able to push the pair above this significant resistance, and the next resistance will lie at 133.61. However, you see that all indicators signal that the pair is overbought, so a decline of the pair still may happen. Firstly, let's take a look at the RSI indicator, and you see that it's already above the 70 level. So as soon as it crosses the 70 level upside down, it will be a signal of the fall. Until then, the pair will keep rising. Moreover, we see that the stochastic indicator is above the 80 level, and again we need an additional signal of the fall. So the blue line should cross the red line upside down, so it will be a signal to open a short position. Moreover, we see that the awesome oscillator formed the bearish divergence, so it's an additional signal of the fall. However, as we are considering the daily chart, it does not mean that the pair will fall today. So you should pay attention to all these indicators, and as soon as you get the signal of the fall, you can open a short position. Until then, the pair may keep rising, or it will keep trading sideways, and we see that the support at 131.35 will be the bottom line of this sideways trading. So in case of the fall, the pair will need to break below this pivot level, and the next support will lie at 131.89. In case of the breakthrough, we can anticipate that the pair will decline towards 131.43. What about the 4-hour chart? On the 4-hour chart, we see that up to now the pair has been rising, but we see this sideways trading. For today, in case of the positive news, the pair will be able to test 132.90 again, and then we have the resistance at 133.16. So you see that the trend line lies near this level, so this resistance is anticipated to be really strong. The next resistance will lie at 133.61. It's the pivot level. Again, we pay attention to the indicators, and we have the RSI above the 70 level, but it has not crossed this level upside down. So it means that the pair will keep trading either sideways, or it will get an additional chance to rise further up. What about the stochastic indicator? So it has been moving towards the 80 level, so it means that the pair has chances to rise until this indicator crosses the 80 level, and then the blue line crosses the red line upside down. In case of the fall, the pair will need to break below the pivot level at 132.35. You see that previously the pair could not break this level, so this support is anticipated to be strong and keep forming the sideways trading. So as soon as this level is broken, we can anticipate a decline towards 131.95. And the next support will be at the pivot level at 131.43. That's all for today. Follow these and other trading plans with FPS.